Finally, Senator Conrad mentioned the importance of everything being on the table for the Fiscal Future Commission. And I agree with that approach as opposed to the more narrow approach recommended by some of our colleagues. On the other hand, CBO has clearly warned us that to sustain the current projected spending levels would require a level of taxes never before seen in our country. I'm interested in hearing both of your views on whether there is a limit to the level of taxation that can be imposed on our economy before it starts having very detrimental consequences. I'll start with you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, there's clearly a limit in the sense that as tax rates go up, the tax base begins to shrink. And clearly, at 100% taxation, you are not going to have any tax base to speak of. So that clearly you cannot raise revenues indefinitely through raising rates. And it's not easy to calculate where that is. And indeed, when you get to the point where the actual revenues are very small as rates go up, you're already probably gone too far. But it's very clear from the outlook here that we have no choice but to work from both the spending side and both the tax side. As much as I dislike the notion, I cannot visualize in a concrete way how we can bring down the level of spending to the capacity of our economy to function comfortably with it. And if we can't do that, then clearly we have to go to the tax side. But again, we have to be very careful there as well, because it's a different type of constraint. The constraint on the spending side is basically political. The constraint on the tax side is mainly, but not wholly, economic.
Thank you. Mr. Walker.
Well, a few numbers. For the last 40 years, average federal taxation has been about 18.3% of GDP, the highest that it's been in history. In recent times, at least, is about 20.6% of GDP. If we don't do anything, it's going to go up to 40% plus of GDP by 2040. If we all of a sudden just continue to do what we're doing now, and then want to try to balance the budget in 2040. If we don't extend the Bush tax cuts, in other words, if they all expire, taxes will be 24% of GDP within the next 10 years or so and moving up. My view is that you can solve the problem for less than 24% of GDP, that everything has to be on the table, that the problem is primarily a spending problem, but that you're going to have more revenues because there's a new four-letter word that people have to deal with. It's called math. The math doesn't come close to working. You can't grow your way out. You can't tax your way out. You can't just cut your way out. You can't inflate your way out. You've got to do a number of things. We want to keep taxes as low as we can, but here's the key. The sooner we act, the lower they can be. So the miracle of compounding will work for us. As Albert Einstein said, the most powerful force on earth is not nuclear energy, it's the power of compounding. And when you're a saver, it works for you. When you're a debtor, it works against you. It also means that when you act sooner rather than later, the less draconian the changes have to be, the less the burdens have to be, the more transition time, the better ability to plan. So let's act sooner rather than later. Taxes are going up on a lot more people than those making $250,000 or more. Why? Math.
Thank you.